everybody, it's Kira and welcome back to my channel. So today I have my reaction for Bookmarked chapter 11, which is called Reading Year in Review. So I'm very excited get to talk about how this year went as far as reading goes, which for me it went very well. I'm very happy about it. So yeah, let's just get into this. I love doing these guys.
Hey!
They're all wearing hats.
Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome to
That's
Bookmarked
cute.
chapter 11. Today we are going to talk all about our year in books, our reading year. We're going to discuss the highs, the lows, and I'm going to look very weak compared to my friends here because they read so many compared to me. Everybody's here. It's so great. And we're all wearing really snazzy hats. So if you have a hat, feel free to wear one as we talk. Why not? Okay.
Not with me anyways.
Let's talk about what we're currently reading. I am currently reading two books, which, wow, what a superstar. I am currently rereading Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I'm still rereading this before I start Queen of Air and Darkness, even though I probably should have read it by now because Hannah has been trying to get me to read it, but I am taking my time just to spite her. And I'm also reading The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. I just started it this morning, and I'm already like 150 pages in. It's so addictive, and it's perfect for this time of year. It's a retelling of A Christmas Carol, kind of, but the Christmas Carol is in this as well, so meta.
I am currently reading Troubleshooting Your Novel, Essential Techniques for Identifying and Solving Manuscript Problems by Stephen James. So much fun, but I'm preparing for revisions on Twin Travel Novel, so reading that and hoping it will help. And then I'm reading Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, which is the first book in a really long time that I've picked up and actually just really wanted to pick it up, and especially for sci-fi, this is very odd for me, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I had heard so many good things about it, and it is so far living up to my expectations.
What is it about?
It is a sci-fi about, it's basically kind of dystopia, except it's set in space, and the main character is, learning how to be a pilot. So it's a lot about, flights and, I feel like the mechanics of it is very interesting, and he does a good job of making it seem realistic. I'm not very far into it. I'm 80 pages so far, but the main character, she's kind of shunned because her father abandoned them during this war, so she's trying to become a pilot while being shunned, and yeah, it's interesting. That was a terrible description, so you're welcome for that.
I am also currently reading two books. One of them is the same as Zoe. I'm reading Afterlife of Holly Chase as well, except I don't have the physical book. I have the ebook.
For you.
Thank you. And I am also reading A Christmas Carol because I haven't read A Christmas Carol in a really, really long time. The last time I consumed the story in any way was when I watched the play. And that was years ago, and I feel like I don't remember enough about the story's specifics and its details to read The Afterlife of Holly Chase and fully enjoy it. So halfway through, because I'm at basically the same place as Zoe, I decided to pick up A Christmas Carol, read that first, and then go back to The Afterlife of Holly Chase. So yeah, but I'm really liking both of them.
Cool. I am about to start reading The Mark of the Lion by Francine Rivers. Because my friend Molly gave me her copy to borrow to read, and I just finished, what did I just finish? A Study in Charlotte, which I really enjoyed. Once I sat down to read it, I really, really enjoyed it, so it was really good. But yeah, about to start a new book today.
I was actually Tiny Tim in the play of A Christmas Carol.
Really?
So, I really know this. I did do that. I had a really bad English accent, and they put stones in my shoe to give me a limp. So, fun fact.
Oh my god! You couldn't fake the limp?
I guess I was that bad of an actress. I just really wanted to sell it, or to remind me which leg the limp was on. I have no idea, but they did it, and so now I really know the story. So, but I need to reread it too. Anyway, let's talk about our year in books. First off, how many books did everybody read, including people in the comments? How many books did you read? I'll go last.
Okay. Oh, Haley's getting a cat.
Oh, yay!
Crying at the door.
Oh, baby.
I
No,
love
she's
when
not
she
the
brings her
one staying
cats.
here. I read 87 books.
How many books does she read?
She read 0, and she also destroyed 0. So I would say that is
That's a win.
win for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to check my Goodreads to see how many I
have
read.
so far read 94, and I really,
Ooh.
really want to get to 100. Like, that's my
You've
goal.
read more than 94.
I have read more than 94. There are 3 books that I've reread that I never put on my Goodreads like reading goal. So yeah, I've read more than that. So I'm basically at 100, and I'm gonna finish these 2 books like within the next 2 days. So I'm basically at 100. But
That's crazy.
I'm gonna try to see if I can read some more.
And that's the most books you've like ever
Yeah,
read
that's
in
the
a
most
year.
books, yeah, definitely the most books I've ever read. And my goal was, well, I mean, we'll get there, but like never read that much. So
I'm at 69
I've
right
read
now.
38
so doing well.
books. And several of those books were Shakespeare plays for my Shakespeare class, so they weren't even full books. And I've just had a really not great reading year. And I've like DNF'd so many books, and it's just been a struggle. But I'm getting back into the swing of things. Hopefully next year I can be where it is today.
I would also like to point out that you graduated from college
Yeah.
this year. So
Yay!
Ooh,
Woo!
Yourself
I
Go
graduated on
Zoe!
Saturday.
killed it.
But I mean, I was an English major as well as an advertising major, so like I should have read more as an English major.
but think of how much reading you just do for your classes.
True, and I
Yeah.
don't put a lot of them on Goodreads. But still,
You should. I used to put every single one on Goodreads.
but like I start reading them and then like I kind of skim through like the middle and then like I actually finish it. So like I don't count it as like full on reading it because I'm mostly looking for like quotes from my paper
Yeah.
instead
that's
of like
fair.
actually reading and enjoying
Yeah.
it.
I
So-
feel you, Zoe. I feel you.
What was everybody's goal for the year? Mine was 52 books because I planned on, and that was Hannah's too. Because we were like, yeah, let's read like a book a week, and you've doubled, and what am I like, 18 books behind or something?
My goal was 12 because I didn't want to, well,
crushed
because I
it.
wanted to write a book. So then I didn't want to put pressure on myself. But this is the first year that I haven't, well, since I started reading, this is the first year that I haven't read 100.
Really?
Like
Wow.
I've surpassed 100 every year. Last year I read 120 or something.
Oh my goodness.
And this year I did not, and I'm sad about it.
That's
How do you
insane.
not know this?
Just read a bunch of picture books.
I know, but
Then you'll
oh
do
well.
it.
I mean, I
Graphic
wrote 2
novels.
books, so I feel fine.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
mean,
That's a lot.
I surpassed that goal, so
My goal was 50 books. It was my goal last year, and last year I got like 49. I like didn't quite make it. So just because 50 is a nice round number, and it's not quite a book a week, it's basically a book a week, but not. And yeah, I've surpassed it. I'm at 69, which is great. And I'm hoping to read at least 1 or 2 more before the end of the year too. But yeah, I don't know. I just set mine at 50 because I'm like, that seems like a good number to strive for. I don't know.
but yeah, every year I've done I don't sleep or do social things. So
You're being social right now.
you were
I
so
am being
cute, though.
social.
You were
Your
so
allotment
cute.
for the week.
Yeah.
Just bookmarked. That's when you talk, and the rest of it.
Yeah, and then I'm silent. I talk to a camera and that's about it.
And your cats.
True. I talk to them a lot. Often in strange voices. But it's fine.
Oh my gosh, people have read like 93 books.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people.
know. Someone
So
said
many.
close to 200.
200?
Close to
There's
200.
some
I will
people
say that.
who I don't understand how you
Wow.
can get to 200. That blows my mind. That's amazing.
Getting to 100 blew my mind. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting to 100 is
I
hard.
usually read like 120 books. Like, that blows my mind alone. Because
Yeah.
the most I'd ever done before this was 70. And like, yeah, because like my goal was 52, like Zoe said. And I got to 52 by June. So,
Well,
yeah.
in January you read like 19 books.
Yeah, I read like 18 books, I think, that month.
That's a
So,
lot.
I started off strong.
And you're ending strong too.
There were some months where I read literally 0 books. So,
Yeah, I did the same thing.
yeah.
That's crazy.
So do you not, if you read 200 books, do you not like watch TV or something like that.
Right.
Like, is that your entertainment?
I feel like I would easily be able to get to like 200 books if I didn't live at home. Because
If you
living at
lived
home,
alone? If you
yeah,
didn't
because
talk
I would
to
have nothing else
anybody?
to do. Because like every single night I watch TV with my mom. So if I didn't do that, I would read so much, and I'd probably have written like 60 books by now.
I
Blame
feel
it
like
on your parents.
I feel like I
Yeah,
could
my mom.
definitely read way, way, way more if that was like my main form of like way that I like to consume stories.
Yeah.
But I watch so much TV too that like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Also, I would like to point out that I read a lot of fan fiction, and I feel like
Yes.
it's like the equivalent of reading like at least another 50 books.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Trapped in a island with Josh Hutcherson.
My favorite fanfic.
Amazing.
One Direction during the Purge. I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately, so that's been my main form of entertainment.
I agree though. Like I watch a lot of TV. Like I don't think that I do, but then like I'm watching The Flash, I'm watching The Gifted, I'm watching Timeless, which Timeless is almost done. We have premiere on Thursday, and by the time you've seen this, by the time you see this, it will have happened. But I'm so excited. Not premiere, finale, the end of it. But I'm watching Manifest. I watched Stranger Things. I've watched Stranger Things like 5 times just watching it. I watched it once by myself all the way through, and then I watched it with different friends multiple times and family. So I do watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I also read a lot of fan fiction. I tend to read fan fiction like right before bed. That's like kind of how I wind down as I read fan fiction. And so I agree. Like I have definitely read a lot of fanfics that like would probably add up to another couple of books at least. Like, and some fanfics are like basically could be books. Like they're insane. But yeah, I agree. Like I probably could read more books if I didn't do all of those other things, but because I enjoy doing them, like I don't feel as bad for the most part about like not reading.
But I just want to make sure that I watch less TV and read more books because they do bring me the same level of enjoyment. But again, reading is not mindless like watching TV or movies are.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think that watching TV or movies is always mindless.
That's true.
Well, that's why I watch what I watch.
For me, it usually is.
Like for me, it's not because I don't watch, like I watch things that have stories. Usually I watch things that have been adapted based off of.
Yes.
Like,
or like things that have a really interesting plot, like Manifest is about a plane that disappears for 5 years, you know, or like The Flash is about like people with superpowers. The Gifted, again, superpowers. Like I can't do things like The Office where it's just like slice of life type stuff, and it's like it just doesn't interest me. I can't do the mindless TV. I have to like be invested in the TV.
I
Like,
rewatch a lot of things.
yeah, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I've watched that like 6 times this year. It's adapted from a manga, so.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Jenny Nicholson. If you can't tell, everyone's saying in the chat. I've been watching a lot of her.
She's a queen.
A lot. Like it's a problem. Okay. Okay, so let's go through our Goodreads year in books thing because I love statistics so much. So, how many pages has everybody read?
31,802.
That's a lot.
31,702. I'm 100 pages behind Haley.
Hilarious. How is that possible? You must have just read shorter things.
Yeah.
Probably.
How do I find
Read
that?
What's your average page
13,000.
count?
My average page count is
Average length.
374.
Oh, mine is 337, so that's fine.
Mine's 347, and I've read 13,217.
It's funny, last year I read 44,485 pages, and that was 126 books. I think it's really interesting to compare the previous year.
Oh,
Yeah.
I only read 10,000 more pages last year.
I can't find the
To me,
thing.
reading one book is a win because
Yes,
there's a lot of people out there who don't even do that.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very
gotta
true.
be positive.
Exactly.
Oh, you can find your page count on Goodreads. On your profile, there's a place that says year in books. So click on that, and there's a
Not on
bunch
my
of
app.
statistics. It's a lot of fun. What was everybody's shortest book?
The Nutcracker by E.T.A. Hoffman,
How many pages?
112 pages.
Mine is the children's picture book that I read today. Cicada,
Yes.
Cicada. It's 32 pages. So,
32 pages.
yeah.
Yes, that's
It's
amazing.
adorable though.
My shortest book was We Should All Be Feminists, which was 52 pages. But it's like tiny.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
So
very
it's really
small.
like one page because it's
Yeah.
it's a speech.
My shortest book
It's a
was
TED Talk,
probably
Yeah.
Every Heart a Doorway by
Longest
Shauna
book?
McGuire.
Little Women, 777
I'm in the middle
pages,
of Little
but
Women,
for
so
the
if I
purpose
can
of my video
finish
that's
it,
coming out
it's
in a couple of
probably would
days,
be
it
Little
was
Women.
Obsidio, but I didn't
Or
have
Obsidian,
Little Women
yeah.
marked as read.
Mine is Queen of Air and Darkness, 912 pages.
It's 912
Yeah,
pages.
it's a
I
brick.
will say it's technically 880 pages. And then there's a story, there's a bonus story, which is kind of part of it, that makes it 912 pages. So I did read the bonus story too. So
Why can't she write shorter books?
I don't know.
Honestly.
I like the story, but there's just so long.
Yeah, I don't like long books. Unpopular opinion.
I like them
I
if there's constant action happening, or if there's
Queen
like
of
not
Darkness
the.
is like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good then.
My
They're-
thought process my thought process is constantly like I could have read 3 books in the time it took me to read this one book.
Oh, see, like
Which is horrible.
if I really like it, like I want it to be like 2,000 pages long. I don't care, like if it's only one book.
I'm so not like
I
that.
think it just depends on the story, but
Yeah.
sometimes with Cassandra Clare, because my longest book was Lord of Shadows, which is 699 pages, so of course she had to write like 200 more pages.
Mhm.
But sometimes she writes a little bit too much description and putting like what everybody looks like and what like their eyes were blackthorn blue. She repeats that about 27 times. But oh goodness. What was everybody's lowest rated book?
Lowest rated or the least popular? Is that what you mean?
Oh,
I don't have lowest rated.
Oh,
here.
well,
I
like
have least
what was your
popular.
worst book of the year?
Oh,
The Chevais trilogy
Royally
or
Lost by Angie Stanton. It
Every
was
Heart a
horrible. I
Doorway.
hated it.
What was
I don't
it
even
about?
have it anymore. Well, so I thought the premise, obviously I knew it was going to be cheesy, but I thought it was going to be kind of cute. I know, that was a plot twist I didn't see coming.
Yeah,
Gosh,
definitely.
everybody's comments. To All the Boys I've Loved Before, American Gods. Whoa,
Interesting.
controversial.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
What was yours, Hannah?
I don't have technically a lowest rated. I feel like I weirdly gave a lot of books. I gave 0 books 1 star, which is odd for me.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
I gave several books 2 stars, but I feel like if I look at them, there are some that I like less than others.
I think my least favorite one was Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli.
Huh.
And everybody loved it, and I gave it 2 stars? 1 star? I don't know. I am getting rid of that book. Ha. I think part of it was that I was again like so excited for it, just like you probably were with Bridge of Clay. I
Yeah.
was in with like unrealistic expectations, and I just didn't think things were handled well, and also Leah just didn't grow as a character, and I know she was supposed to be unlikable, but she did not grow or learn from her mistakes, and everyone just loved her at the end, and I'm just like, why? She's a terrible person.
Yeah.
If you want to know more of my thoughts, read my Goodreads review. Good to know that I made people change their opinion. I love instilling hate in. I'm kidding. Okay. So, what was what was the note you put, Haley? Genres of the year, like your favorite genre of the year?
Yeah.
I was talking about. I was saying this to her, and I don't know what she wrote.
I don't know what I wrote either.
I was saying like if there's like a specific genre that we kind of read the most of in like the year, or if we read pretty widely in terms of genre.
I think
I'd
I
have
read
to
widely,
check.
but I really struggled with fantasy this year. And like
Really?
part of it was because I was writing fantasy, so I wasn't reading a lot, but I feel like there was so much fantasy that I felt like I was reading the same thing over and over again. Like there weren't fantasies that blew my mind. I felt like everything I read this year, most stuff more than any other year, was middle of the road.
I read mostly, according to Goodreads, I read mostly fantasy and kind of like contemporary or like stuff that had to do with our time, either like um, urban fantasy or like sci-fi, like but also having to do with contemporary stuff. And I did not read like hardly any historical fiction, which is surprising to me because I love historical fiction. But I remember like picking up one or two historical fictions in the very beginning of the year when I was kind of in my slump and like just DNFing them. I put them both down. I want to pick them back up. But I know Unbroken by Laura Hildebrand and what's the other one? Codename Verity. They're both books that I want to read and I want to finish, but I just was not feeling it this year, and so I ended up putting them both down and didn't really get another historical fiction. Like I don't know if I actually have any historical fiction on here. It's all like fantasy, sci-fi, and well, I guess I read two Hamilton books, so I guess those count as historical fiction technically. And then I also read Redeeming Love. But like yeah, most of the stuff was either contemporary or sci-fi or fantasy or some combination of the three. But I didn't really read historical fiction, which is interesting because normally I do. But oh well, maybe I'll change that for 2019. I don't know.
I feel like I read way less fantasy than I usually read this year.
Coming to
I
my
feel like
side.
I feel like I'm really like fantasy is like the genre that's kind of oversaturated in my reading. Not that I'm complaining, I love fantasy. But the fantasies that I did read this year, I loved, like absolutely loved. So I think I definitely read some of my favorites. But I feel like I read pretty like widely, and I feel like I picked up things that I'm not used like usually picking up. Like I read a lot more like mysteries and
I did that too,
thrillers.
actually.
Yeah, because I just wanted to try it out. I read graphic memoirs. I read a lot of contemporary, which I don't usually read a lot of contemporary, but I read a lot this year and I really liked a lot of them. So yeah, I feel like I read like kind of all over the place and it was nice.
I've been trying to read widely as well. But again, I only read so many books and a lot were for school. But that's a big goal for next year, which we're going to talk about next live show is going to be our goals for 2019. But I've been like taking a lot more, I've been trying to read as widely as possible, which means I've been buying a lot of like varied books, but I think that mostly it's been contemporary.
Yeah. I think I just want something to excite me. And fantasy, none of the ones that I was reading were exciting me. I felt like it was all kind of cookie cutter.
I think that's so interesting that it seems, at least like with what I've read and what I've heard, that a lot of contemporary is like trying to break out of the box and it's like really like changing things up. But a lot of fantasy, which is usually thought of to be the more like subversive, like different genre where you won't read something
Yeah.
the same thing twice, has been pretty generic. So I think that's really interesting. Like people heard the criticism about contemporary and they kind of changed things up. So maybe in 2019 it'll be similar
Hopefully.
with
Yeah.
fantasy. And are there any other adult fantasy authors to know about besides Brandon Sanderson? Because I've heard a lot of great things about Sanderson. I know like Terry Pratchett is probably one. I'm gonna try
Yeah.
to read him.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm gonna say Victoria Schwab because you should read A Darker Shade of Magic.
that's
You'll
adult.
like that. It's adult, yeah.
Yeah, it's adult, yeah.
Hmm.
Actually, wait, what's the first one? The Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. I really like Sarah Beth Durst, and I liked that trilogy, which apparently there's a new book coming out, and I still have to catch up on 2 books, but those were really good. So, I don't know. I just feel like there's so much fantasy in YA now. Like, it has exploded recently.
Where the money,
So,
where the money
yeah,
was.
exactly. Yeah. So I'm kind of like, and even contemporary, I feel like I haven't even read that much contemporary. I feel like I read nothing this year.
But
Even
you've
though,
read
like,
a
I
lot.
Yeah.
You read nothing this year.
I read so much, but I just feel like everything, like nothing I wanted to like shout from the rooftops except for The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Well, there were a couple, but like it wasn't like other years where there were so many books that I wanted to include on my top 10 list that like I was trying to narrow it down. This year I was kind of like scrambling to find things to include on my top 10 list.
Do we each want to go through like a few of our favorite books?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can go first, I guess, because
Mhm.
I'll have less favorites. Also, I'm probably going to repeat things that Hannah talks about because apparently like end up reading the same things. But Sadie by Courtney Summers, I really liked An Absolutely Remarkable Thing.
Yes! That was so
I haven't
good.
read a lot of sci-fi in my day because I didn't think it was for me. But like I got into Star Wars this year, and I like
Good for
started
you,
reading
Zoe.
like some sci-fi, and I guess I need to read more sci-fi. Probably need to pick up that Brandon Sanderson book. But it starts off one way, and then it completely goes in like a way I was not expecting.
Yes.
In hindsight, I probably should have like realized it would have gone that way. But it's also about like a YouTuber, and it's about like social media culture mixing with politics and what like the idea of like otherness and what would happen if aliens really came to Earth. And it was just so interesting, and I think about it a lot, and I made my dad read it and we talked about it. It was a lot of fun. That's another instance of like an unlikable main character that I actually liked. Like
Yeah.
it were I didn't think I was gonna like it, but
Yeah.
okay.
That was a good one.
I also read Radio Silence, which is probably another one that Hannah's gonna say. So I'll leave it for Hannah to talk about because I don't want her to like.
You're literally listing off all the books that are in my top of my list of 5 books you need to read.
Oh goodness!
Amazing.
Oh, I haven't read that. I haven't seen that one yet, so I apologize. Oh, I read all of the Raven Cycle this year. I totally forgot I did that read.
That was this year?
That was March.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
What the heck? I really enjoy that series. It's a fantasy series I read. Wow. I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I'll leave that for Hannah to talk about. And I think that's my like top ones. I also read Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, and the movie is so good. I've watched it so many times since it came out. Oh, so what about y'all?
Haley, you can go.
Oh, you want me to go ahead? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. Arpan. I'm sure Hannah was also going to talk about that one. We're all just stealing Hannah's thunder. But that was a really amazing book that I liked. My Plain Jane by the Lady Janies, which was the sequel, but you don't have to read the first one, to My Lady Jane. I loved that one. That was the first book that I read this year, and that one was so good, so fun. Loved it. And then my number one book of the year was The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, which is very off-brand for me because it's an adult novel, but it's an adult historical fiction that just will tear on your heartstrings. It was one of those books where everyone kept on talking, like now Evelyn Hugo is that for me. I haven't read it yet, but everyone keeps on saying it's amazing, and I'm like, there's no way it can possibly live up to the hype. But The Nightingale like exceeded that hype for me. It was so good. I made my entire family read it. My mom loved it. My sisters loved it. Like, it was just so good.
I'm looking it up right now. I've never even heard of this book. I don't
Oh,
think.
you need to read it. It's absolutely beautiful. Like, all of my coworkers, whenever they found out I liked historical fiction, everyone was like, oh, you need to read The Nightingale. And I'm like, okay, like, it's probably good. And then I'm sitting there listening to the audiobook, and I'm like, why? Like, it was such an emotional experience, but it was so beautiful. I'm
hoping to read that one over winter break right
I
now.
really need to read that one.
Honestly, I think both of you would really like it, and then I need to hear about it. All about it.
Okay, so I have a lot of favorites, but I feel like I have very few like favorite, like all-time favorites from this year. Versus like last year, I feel like I found a lot more of those. But I read the most 2 current books in the Diviners series. Loved those. Before the Devil Breaks You, Destroyed Me. And then A Torch Against the Night and A Reaper at the Gate.
Woohoo!
Because I love An Ember in the Ashes, and I never stop talking about that series either.
Yes. Reaper is
Children
on
of Blood
my
and Bone was
top
another
10.
favorite. And then,
Yep.
Astonishing Color of After. That book killed me. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's one of the best books I've ever read about like mental illness.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. The prose is amazing. Like it's so good. Um, and I loved Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson.
I just read
Uh,
that one.
yeah, it's like a YA mystery set in like a boarding school. I told Zoe to read it because I think she'd really like it.
All my favorites.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Um, Paperweight by Meg Haston, which I talked about in my 5 books you need to read video. That book killed me. I literally couldn't talk about it for so long. Like I didn't tell anyone that I read it. I just marked it as read on Goodreads, gave it 5 stars, and then just like never talked about it because like, I couldn't because it affected me so much. But it's incredible. Um, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is probably definitely my favorite book I read this year. One of my favorite books literally ever, probably in my top 5 favorite books. It's so good. Like it's like the same situation with you, Haley, with The Nightingale, where like I had heard so many good things about this book, like nothing but good things about this book for so long. And I was like, okay, it's going to be good, but like the hype's going to get to me.
Yeah.
It didn't. It exceeded the hype. Like it exceeded every single one of my expectations. And all I ever want to do is read it again. And I literally read all of her other books because I love that book so much. And then Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor.
Yay! Muse of
Incredible,
Nightmares was so good.
wonderful conclusion. And then the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. I read all of those for the
Yeah,
first time this year.
Same.
Team John Ambrose.
Come on, Zoe.
I know you hate me.
I loved those. Totally unexpected. Absolutely remarkable thing. Like Zoe said, that book was so good.
Yeah.
Radio Silence, which again, like, where did this book come from? And then my other one I would definitely say is probably like number 3 or something, right after like Evelyn Hugo and probably Astonishing Color of After would be Circe by Madeline Miller.
I didn't want to read that
It
one.
killed me. It's so good. It's beautiful. Everyone needs to read it.
Right there.
Excellent.
Oh, I also forgot. I forgot to talk about Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. Good. And Radio Silence. I love that we're getting so much mental health representation that's not just about mental health, even though a big plot point of the story is mental health, but it meant so much to me, that story.
It was just like that book is the definition of a hidden gem. Like
And now it's not so hidden. You've
That's
dug
true.
it up a little bit.
a little, but like it's such a hidden gem. It's so underrated.
I'm also like so scared to really hype up books because I'm so afraid that someone's not gonna like it and be like, wow, you ruined this for me. So
that happens all
everybody, all my favorite books are terrible. You should hate them, but you should read them
Love it.
anyway.
I don't like
Love it.
care about that anymore. Like I will hype up a
Yeah.
book as much as I want to because like the like joy I get from people telling me like you made me read this book and I loved it and it like exceeded my expectations makes me so happy. So like
Yeah, agreed. Well, because like everyone reads a different book, even if you're reading the same book, because you're entirely different. So just because I loved it doesn't mean you're going to love it. But if you do love it, excellent.
Excellent.
Scared, I guess, about everything. Okay.
Sophie, no, that's my brand. I'm the 6 here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, if you know your Enneagram type, comment down below because Hannah finally figured hers out. I am a 4, the individualist, hence why I am a mess. And
I don't know what
Haley's
mine's
a
called.
6.
The Terrified? Is that what it's called?
Yes, that's it.
I don't remember what yours is.
Anxious?
I'm a 3, the achiever. I thought I was a 2 for a while. I thought I was a 4 for a while. It was a whole thing, but I'm a 3.
Actually, I think 6 is the loyalist.
Yeah,
it
the
is.
loyalist.
Oh, now on to Twitter questions. We have quite a few. From Anna Marie Coulter, they ask, throughout all the books you've read this year, which one has stuck with you the most?
Evelyn Hugo.
Go.
Yeah, Evelyn Hugo.
Evelyn Hugo. I think about that book. I'm like not exaggerating. I think about that book every single day.
Amazing.
That's how much it's affected me.
Oh my gosh. I think about that, and I think about, what else do I think about? Oh, I think about An Absolutely Remarkable Thing quite a lot, because I'm just like, aliens. They're out there. You know? It can happen sometimes. I'm
That's
sorry.
amazing.
What about you, Haley?
The Nightingale, I think about a lot, but also The Astonishing Color of After, just because it
Yeah.
really was like phenomenal mental health rep, in my opinion, and in my experiences. But I thought it was so good.
For me, probably The Hate You Give, because I finally read that this year and it was amazing. And so worth it, and I wish that I hadn't waited to read it. And then I'm trying to think. Oh, and The Light Between Worlds by Laura E. Weymouth, because it's just so beautiful and I loved it a lot.
I also think of the of Paperweight a lot. I think of that book like
I've never
too
even
much,
heard of
probably.
that one. I need to look that one up too. Okay.
Definitely like content warning for eating disorders, but like it's so good.
Okay.
It's really, really good.
Good to know. Okay, from Mary Among Books, have you found any new favorite characters? And we can't mention the books that we've mentioned 27,000 times.
Can I mention a character that I wrote?
No!
That I have none.
None?
For me, it would be the characters in The Darkest Minds, because I also read that for the first time this year, and I love their whole little family of Ruby and Liam and Chubbs and Zoo. It's just so great. They make me so happy. And I really enjoyed those books. So that whole found family aspect of those books was just so fun, and I really loved them.
I loved all the Raven Boys.
Yeah, that's
I love Laura Jean
Oh, yes. I
Laura
think I
Jean
read
is
those
so
books.
and Evelyn Hugo.
No!
Okay,
Doesn't count.
I'm sorry, but actually, I'm not sorry. Evelyn Hugo is the best written character of all time. Like, fight me.
Very complex. And it's just so nuanced. I love it.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. I forget about characters right after I close a book.
Really? I remember characters
Yeah.
for like longer
I
than I remember
remember-
the plot.
No, I'll like remember who they are. I have a terrible memory in general. I just don't remember their names. Like it doesn't matter how fast or how slow I read a book. I don't remember anything. I guess I like the main character from Girl in the Blue Coat. What was her name? I'm
I don't
clicking on
know.
it. Sorry. I'm clicking on it. Please hold. Na, 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 na. Hanukkah. It's Dutch.
Hanukkah?
It's
Oh,
basically, yeah.
okay.
My mom told me how to pronounce it, but my mom's not here to tell me how to pronounce it. So that was my own interpretation. But I also love the love interest from Twin Travel novel. I'm saying it anyways, even though you said I
Who's
couldn't.
like half my character.
I'm obsessed with him.
We
I want to marry him forever.
for one of like
Yeah.
the books I was like Project Milkshake, I had a character who was like basically the love interest, like same name as the one in
Which was not
Haley's book,
intentional.
which was not intentional. And like
Really?
they're basically the same character too. Like it's freaky.
Yeah,
We were like
yeah.
connected psychically
We
somehow
were.
amongst
we were.
space and time. Wow. Okay.
Oh, so many people meant Nikolai and Nikolai. I never know how to say it, and I sound like an idiot every time.
Nikolai
Nikolai, is that how you say it?
from Grisha?
Yeah,
Yeah, Nikolai.
I love him. He's great. He's one of my favorite characters. I would marry him.
Why don't you
You know,
try?
He's
Annette
interesting.
Shaffer, absolutely. Everyone from Six of Crows is the greatest character.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Nina? Mm-hmm.
I have to read all of Lee Bardugo's books.
Same,
in
not
January.
yet?
I haven't read any of her books, and I'm going to a book signing at the end of January, and I haven't read any of her books, but it's for King of Scars, which is like her newest book, so I gotta read 5
I
of her
almost
books.
just tainted your channel with my swearing. Why haven't you done it? She's my favorite author of all time. I love her.
Because I don't read,
No,
apparently.
there's no excuses. I don't want to hear any of it.
The good thing is,
Rectify
though,
the situation.
you're gonna know that you're starting off your year with like an amazing.
True.
And it'll be
Amazing.
fresh in my mind when I read King
True.
of Scars. So,
Oh, I'm so excited
Fun.
for King of Scars. I could literally die right now.
okay,
I can't
important
wait. Not to
question.
be dramatic.
Important question. John Ambrose or Peter Kavinsky?
Peter Kavinsky, all the
Listen.
way.
There's only one right answer to that question, and it is
John
Peter
Ambrose,
Kavinsky.
the one
Peter
who
Kavinsky.
cares.
We
Peter
do not
Kavinsky is a good
insult
starter
ourselves.
boyfriend, but then, you know,
You're gonna
Yeah.
start a full-on war.
why is
right
everyone
now.
saying Peter?
Smart.
That's a really
The
big
right
typo. That's a
answer.
really big typo. I think you meant John Ambrose.
No, they
Have one
didn't,
person
Zoe.
saying John Ambrose.
I love you, lost girl of Neverland.
Congratulations.
No.
Okay.
Thank you to everyone who's saying Peter
Oh,
Kay.
you have 2 people.
I love all
Okay,
of you.
yes. Okay, Peter Kavinsky is better in the movie than he
No.
is in the book.
He is not. You need to reread these books.
I just reread them. I just wrote a paper on it. Excuse me.
Amazing.
Yeah, I wrote a paper on all 3 books.
Wow.
So
Overachiever. Not
it was
just
about
one.
food. It was about
Oh,
food.
great.
But
An icon.
Okay, I will say though that I did spend like all 3 books really worried that Peter Kay was gonna turn out to be a real jerk and was gonna leave Lara Jean. But I need to reread them because I know what happens now. And his character is so sweet and I love him so much. And John Ambrose, I just found him like, it was just annoying the fact that like she decided to, I'm actually not going to say anything because spoilers, but yeah, I don't know. I just kind of found him annoying more than anything.
Coty Walton, I love you.
Amazing.
Erin Michelson, love
Especially
you too.
since the movie, like you've started a full-on war.
Okay,
No one.
we're moving on. What is one book you wanted to read in 2018 but didn't get around to reading?
So
Whole
many.
video on this. Is it up
So
yet? I don't know.
many.
I literally make a video at the beginning of every year, which is like top 18 books I want to read in 2018, and then I always read 2 of them. And that's it.
Oh,
So we're gonna go and find out how many of them I read because I don't know. It's probably like 4.
I've had The Handmaid's Tale on my TBR for the past like forever years, and I still haven't read it, and I still need to do it. And now there's a sequel coming out, so now I really need to do
There's
it.
a sequel of The Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah, it's called
Yeah,
The
she's
Testaments, and it's coming out
writing
in
it.
September, I think.
Interesting. I had to read
Yeah.
it in senior year of high school, and I really
Same.
liked it. But
I hated it.
then too-
I have not had to read it, and I'm the Canadian one. That doesn't make any sense.
Is it Canadian?
She's Canadian, so
Don't take away the national treasure! Don't try and claim that from us!
I thought, she was Australian, obviously.
No, Margaret Atwood is Canadian. I've met her. I have a personalized signed copy of The Handmaid's Tale, and I still haven't read it yet.
Oh, goodness. Well, you got it.
Haley was
Horrible.
ready to throttle
I-
Zoe.
I don't know how many of these books I read. I actually read an okay number of them, but one that I really wanted to read this year that I didn't get around to was The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, the sequel to Shadow of the Wind.
That's the
Shadow
one
of the
I
Wind
have,
is literally
Shadow
one
of
of
the
my
Wind.
favorite books ever. It's so good,
Yeah,
and I
I
don't
have
know why I
that one.
haven't continued the series because the last book just came out this year.
Yeah,
So
I'm pretty
I need
sure.
to keep reading.
I need
definitely
to read
not
that one. But I heard it was scary, so then I didn't want to.
Scary.
It's not? There's not ghosts?
It's not fantasy. It's historical fiction.
But also, not all ghosts are scary.
Maybe I'm mixing. Okay, yes, they are.
they're
They're
not.
Casper. When you're
Fine.
me, they are. My shadow is scary. My face in the mirror in the morning is scary.
Haley!
These are all terrifying
You
things.
only talk to cats. That's your problem.
I would say I'm living the dream, so. I'm so tired.
Oh my gosh. I think Cersei was one of them that I really wanted to get to, and You by Caroline Kepnes. I read about half that book, and then finals happened, and I don't know where it ended because I lost my bookmark, and I don't really feel like reading a horror book right now. So,
I think I wanted to read a lot of like booktube stuff. So like I wanted to read like stuff that everybody's read. So like I wanted to read anything by V.E. Schwab or Leigh Bardugo, and I didn't read anything by either one of them this year. Like, and I don't even know. There's so many. I always have so many that, like, I'm going to read and I plan on reading and then I don't.
Unfortunate. Oh, Children of Blood and Bone. What that came out early this year, right?
I
haven't
think
my
it's
copy.
in March or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, because the sequel's coming out in March, so it was probably March.
So, quite a few books, and I also DNF'd many of them. Like
I
You by
DNF'd
Caroline
3.
Kepnes.
Amazing.
It isn't a live show if Zoe doesn't roast Haley.
I'm like a rotisserie chicken over here.
Yeah, buddy.
Keep on going.
Did you see the Dumplin' movie?
Yes,
Yes.
I did.
I don't know if we already talked about this, but
I wasn't in it, but it was still good.
oh yeah, your butt wasn't in the.
No, it was so close. Amazing.
At least you
but I
know
thought
the
it was
ghost
good.
of your butt is in it.
It's true. They totally could have fit that scene in there too, because it was the bar. So when they're going up to the hideaway, this isn't a spoiler at all, but when they go up to the hideaway, I walked toward there, like doo doo doo, and then I was carded, and then they cut it. But they totally could have kept it in. But they shunned me, and I ended up on the cutting room floor because I didn't get to meet Jennifer Aniston. But then I was like, well, maybe I'd be able to say I was in a movie with Jennifer Aniston. But now I can just say the ghost of me was in a movie with Jennifer Aniston.
I think that's much more interesting. Much more of a conversation starter.
Yeah, because some
True.
people would be like, what?
What? And also, the boy who plays Bo, he was in Minutemen. Do you remember that Disney Channel original movie?
I do not.
No.
Are you serious? He's also in How to Eat Fried Worms. I had the biggest crush on him in that. I had the biggest crush on him in Minutemen, and he was in this. And I'm like, hello, you're back from the dead, and you look so old.
Oh, when I look up Minutemen, I just get people from the Revolutionary War.
Oh my gosh.
In
Yes!
Canada, we have the Family Channel movie.
Oh my gosh. I just wish he didn't have a lollipop in his mouth the whole time because that was.
Yeah, the lollipop was a
Distracting.
lot for me.
I remember Minutemen.
I know why.
Yes!
Oh,
I
okay.
remember it.
He was that little kid.
This
Now
looks
he's
familiar.
old and large and in
That is
Now
charge
he's
so
a
weird.
grown man.
with a lollipop. How did his teeth not like fall out of his face? Because that's a lot of sugar.
I don't know, because yeah, and you know how long it takes them to film that stuff? Oh my god. He had a lollipop for at least 12 years if you add up all the time. That was very accurate math.
Where is this live show going?
We're talking about how to eat fried worms.
So, what was our topic? Reading in 2018.
This was a
I
book
caught up.
adaptation that came
Yeah,
out.
see, we're talking about 2018. We're talking about adaptations.
Yes.
We're still on brand.
Not to be the person again, but we should probably do more because
No, we're gonna keep on talking.
I gotta go to work, man. Until 1 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Cries.
What was the most mediocre book of 2018? Mackenzie Bryn Rapp just asked this.
I have
love
so
this
many.
question.
Yeah, I have so many to choose
mediocre.
from.
This book.
I think What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera.
I didn't read that one.
I haven't read
It disappointed me. I thought it was gonna be, I don't know. I didn't find it believable.
Oh, my most mediocre book, The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of those books. I loved them when I was reading them in high school during the summer, and I liked the first one. Don't read the other ones. The
Yeah,
sequels
I
are
read-
not
I
good.
never.
I read the first one. Actually, I did DNF the second one because I started reading it and I was like, I am so bored. I cannot do this.
One of them like takes place during the winter too, and I was confused.
Oh.
At least a lot of it takes place in the winter, and
Yeah.
it's
Interesting.
the only yeah.
The one that I would say is probably The Fandom by Anna Day. I just read that a couple days ago, and it was fun. Like, it was enjoyable, but it was just, like, not greatly written, and I think there's a sequel coming out, but I'm not going to read it because it's just kind of like, meh. I don't know.
My most mediocre book was Save the Date by Morgan Matson, which was so sad because I was so excited for this book. They
Yeah.
moved back the date so many times. I think they moved it back like a year. So I was expecting like amazing things. And Morgan Matson's one of my favorite contemporary writers because she wrote Second Chance Summer and Since You've Been Gone, and I loved both of those. But unfortunately, I didn't love The Unexpected Everything, which was the one before that. Like, I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. And then I didn't like Save the Date because it was just a lot of like wacky hijinks during a wedding. Here's one more question. Did you mostly read series or standalones?
I think standalones.
Series.
I had a real problem with reading sequels this year. I may have read the starts of series, but like if I read the first book of a series and I didn't give it like 4 or above, I don't continue. I'm not interested.
I think I do similar, but that's because I give up on things.
Also, Zoe, everyone's yelling at you to do another readathon.
You know what?
Again.
I just might. But not yet. Not yet. Don't get too excited.
Patience.
You can do one on your own, everybody. I hope you know this.
I think for me, surprisingly, I read more standalones than series this year, which is not usual because I still read a decent amount of series, but I usually read way more series than standalones. But I read a lot of standalones this year.
And so many of your favorites were part of series, so I expected most of them to be.
Yeah, no.
I'm more of a standalone girl myself.
Yeah.
Because I need instant gratification, I think. So I just need there to be a complete storyline. But I did start several series that I'm excited to continue, like The Diviners. But I also felt like that was a pretty satisfying ending as well. So I don't need to, but I want to. A disappointing book I read was Queen of Air and Darkness. Ooh, a bookish realm.
Oh, unpopular.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have many theories. I mean, don't spoil me, but I have many theories about Queen of Air and Darkness, as Hannah knows, because we have been FaceTiming so many times about all of my obscure theories. Like,
She just keeps telling me all these things that she thinks are going to happen, and I've already read it, so I'm sitting there
and
like...
they all contradict each other.
Amazing.
I'm like, what if Julian does this? What if Julian does that? Because otherwise Hannah's going to make us stop. So mean.
I'm the bad guy.
She's going to end our fun. Is Church a Horcrux? Yes. He's probably Magnus's. That's why they're both alive.
Oh, sorry. This doesn't have to be our last question, but someone asked me if I'm excited for Erin Morgenstern's new book, and yes, I'm literally dying. So I can't.
Is it a sequel or like a new book?
New book.
Ooh.
That was another book I wanted to read this year. Was
Hannah is the reasonable one.
The Night Circus.
Yes.
I really wanted to read that.
1,000%. She's our rock. Oh, yes. She's the blossom. I am the bubbles. Haley is the buttercup. I am the
that's further proof that she's a Slytherin too, because she's green, I'm like pink, red, and you're blue.
Blue!
I don't have a house. I don't belong anywhere in Homewood.
But also, you're the executioner, Haley. I'm the jester, and Hannah's our queen.
Oh, God.
I have to read The Night Circus because I want to be Hannah's friend. It's the only way. Honestly, no, I'm still on probation because I haven't read it.
That's true.
I didn't like it, so I'll never be her friend. What struggles.
I mean, obviously.
It's fine.
Hannah is like the gem of hair and gray stairs. Wait, then who would I be?
You're obviously Will.
So Haley is Tessa?
Wow.
No.
I don't think that one works.
No. Oh goodness.
Caught in a love triangle.
I feel like I'm Gansey. Hannah, you are Adam, and Haley's Ronan.
Hell yeah, I'll take that.
Noah? Are you Noah?
I will take it.
Absolutely not. I really do not agree with anyone.
I don't like you, just like I don't like him.
I don't like Adam, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I will take Ronan.
Okay. I like this. I'm Harry. No, I'm Ron. Hey, is it Harry because she's really angsty, and then you're Hermione because you're the reasonable one.
Excuse me. Oh my god.
Are there any questions now? I love how we just kill time like this. Haley is totally a Slytherin. Yeah.
You don't know me.
Zoe is
I don't
Noah. I will
belong.
take that. I'll take that, I guess.
Yeah, you're definitely Noah. You are not Gansey.
But like, why not? Oh,
I
who
am
is Buffy, Willow, and Xander? Okay. I am obviously Xander
I've
'cause
never
I'm
seen
the
Buffy.
worst.
So
No,
I
You're
have
not
no
Haley,
clue.
you're Xander because you're the worst.
Okay, we can't do this.
You're rude.
Xander's the worst, and I can't stand him at all. And I love both of you, so that's not happening.
The worst. So I'm gonna stop
Excellent.
torturing Haley.
Thanks, man.
Okay, we're gonna talk about our booktuber of the week. Hannah, you have the honors this time.
Our booktuber of the week is Damien. What is his last name?
Triquez.
Triquez.
Triquez. Oh goodness, I don't remember my Spanish. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Damien. You're the best.
Damien.
I love you. So next week we're going to be over on Hannah's channel again because we got kind of out
Not
of
next
our
week.
cycle.
Not next week.
Oh, sorry. Friday, January 4th.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're
Because
skipping
of
next
the
week because it's
holidays.
Christmas Day, and
And
then
then we're skipping
January
New
1st.
Year's Day. Yeah, January 1st. So our next one is going to be on January 4th, Friday. And it'll be
Wonderful.
on my channel. And we're going to be talking about our 2019 like bookish resolutions and goals and stuff. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yay!
Thanks for
Everyone
watching.
have a Merry
friends.
Christmas and Happy Holidays. We'll see you next year.
Oh,
Oh yeah, true.
oh gosh.
Yeah. This is
Hope
our
your
last live show of the
2018
year.
is great. Wow.
Super.
We're all getting so old. Okay. Well, love you all. Happy holidays. Hope you are having a good day, and we'll talk to you in the new year. Bye.
That was fun. That was long, but it was good. I don't really have anything to add other than that was, yeah. This year has been a better reading year, I think, than last year. But, yeah, I don't know. It's weird to think that the year is almost over, too, in some ways. But also in other ways, I'm so ready for the new year. Yeah, so that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. The link for the original live stream as well as all three girls' channels will be in the description as well. Go check them out. I love them all so much. And all of my social media links will also be in the description for you. So, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!